from it and its beauty greatly diminished the quality of our lives. He wanted to reestablish awareness of this union of matter and spirit, and he was convinced that changing how we live and realigning our lives respectfully with nature was one way of doing this. In this view, he echoed ancient indigenous cultural beliefs from around the world and foreshadowed the current Western ecological manifesto that human beings are but one aspect of the vast cosmic reality, that the larger world of nature is one organic whole, the well-being of that whole being dependent on the well-being and cooperation of its parts. We, like every element of nature, share the same energy to which we owe our existence. In our strife-stricken times, the world is not seen as a vital whole, however. Indeed, the planet is but land divided into countries, divided by borders and ideologies, wealth and poverty. Rather than a nourishing Mother Earth, the planet is a source of resources to be exploited or even sacrificed if they somehow get in the way of human interests. Human life is even still cheap in many parts of the world. Women and children, all too frequent victims of physical and emotional violence. Environmental abuse and mismanagement are manifested daily by the loss of wildlife habitat, wetlands, and old-growth forests, not to mention clean air and water. Endangered species are poached, traded, or simply shot for trophy or sport. Mining, overgrazing, and overfarming leave the land scarred and unfertile. Overfishing and pollution are irreparably damaging marine ecosystems. Close as that. Deforestation diminishes the Earth's ability to absorb greenhouse gases. And recreational ATVs tear up fragile soil, blazing new unwanted trails in national parks, spoiling the quietude, disrupting wildlife, and spreading unwanted invasive species along the way. Amidst this incredible destruction, all of which is justified by our anthropocentric vision, we seem to have forgotten that we are also of the planet, not alien to it. That we evolved from the same energy that created everything we share this world with, and that our survival depends on the health of the whole planet, not just the health of those resources we deem critical to our commercial and economic growth. If we are to leave a planet that future generations can not only survive in, but thrive in, we must realign our position to join what noted eco-theologian Thomas Berry has come to call the communion of subjects, and let go of the view that everything non-human is a collection of objects over which we can, when we choose, exert control. Let me return to the lessons of Frank Lloyd Wright. Raised in the Unitarian and Transcendentalist traditions of the 19th century, nature gave Wright faith in the underlying order of the world as we experience it, and constant inspiration for his architecture. He was convinced that designing anew what we live in and realigning our lives with respect to the elements of nature would reconnect us with its spirit and its beauty, greatly enhancing our lives. He wrote, "Man takes a positive hand in creation whenever he puts a building upon the earth beneath the sun. If he has a birthright at all, it must consist in this, that he too is no less a feature of the landscape than the rocks, trees, bears, or bees of that nature to which he owes his being. Human housing, then, in keeping its place within this unity, should nurture human life in respectful harmony with the spirits of the landscape and the nature community. Viewed from this perspective, if sustainability here, meaning not jeopardizing the needs of the future to the greed of the present, if this level of sustainability as a program is to be successfully implemented, it will require new paradigms that redefine how humans engage with both their fellow humans and non-human communities." As Frank Lloyd Wright wrote of the human role here, to be good gods of earth here, on earth, is all the significance we have here. People often don't care about what they don't know or cannot name, and much of the natural world falls more and more into that category as it recedes farther and farther away beyond the newest commercial and residential developments. The nearby open spaces where many of us older folks, I guess, grew up, parks or fields or woods where we might happily play for hours on end, creating our own imaginary worlds, have been blacktopped over or obliterated by urban and suburban developments. The very real dangers often lurking on today's urban streets sadly discourage parents from letting their kids play outside. Instead, Children are herded to organized sports or other supervised and scheduled activities, and when these are done, happily settle on the sofa inside with some kind of electronic device. But recent research, notably documented in Richard Love's Lost Child in the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder, has looked at how exposure to nature benefits individuals and, in turn, communities to which it belongs. Conversely, his research has also documented that the cost of depriving individuals of contact with nature is significantly diminished use of the senses, attention difficulties, and higher rates of physical and emotional illness. Not only does this research suggest school and parental programming should actively engage children with nature in a significant way, it also suggests that for everyone's benefit, designs for schools, houses, healthcare facilities, and neighborhoods should all look at how these spaces can be better integrated with the natural world. It is astonishing, or should be, that the spaces in which people live, work, and play often occupy so little of their attention. And if we are so oblivious to the built environment in which we spend most of our time, it's hardly any wonder that we are so cavalier about the wilderness we rarely experience.